All right. So today we're gonna go into human design. Show of hand, how many people are familiar or know human design already?
Only
No,
what you
not yet.
sent us.
Wow. So this is first time, first time. Okay. But because you've been in the cruise with Molly's, you have some familiar, well, you're not just familiarity, but by now you're kind of like advanced in astrology, in your astrology study. Is that fair to say?
I'm a beginner, total, didn't know one thing. Stayed
Okay.
in the cruise and then, it's nice to go on a seminar.
The seminar extra, the cruise is the main thing, the main point. And enjoying good, not
Food.
just the scenery, good food and good people around, right? All right. Okay, so that's great that I get to introduce this beautiful system. Let me share my slide. Can people see my slide? It has introduction to human design. Can you see it?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right, that was just a test. I'm not going to share yet. So before we get in, um, I got into human design about 7 years ago, and when I got introduced because I was in the transition in my life where I'm trying to figure out what to do. I just left my corporate job. I didn't really just left actually. This was already a few years I left my corporate job, figuring out what to do in terms of like professions. I explored real estate, I explored coaching, I explored so many things. And I was actually in a coaching group with my mentor, and this girl came in and she started to talk about human design. And at that time, I was in my mind, in the back of my mind, is that the next professions or career that I want to get into, I want to make sure that I really get into because it fits who I am. Because before I was fitting myself into what is available out there, right? Oh, this job looks good, pay good money, sounds fun. So I'm fitting myself into the job. But that job gave me a lot of stress, burnout, and I know there's a part of me that I have a big question mark. It's like, what is it really my purpose? What am I supposed to be doing on earth? I know I sense like I'm a bit different than other people, but I can't really say why I'm different, and why and how can I use this differentiations of like the thing that's very unique about me, how can I use it so that it can bring me not just joy, happiness, fulfillment, but money? Because I am a believer that everybody is unique and everybody has their own strength, their talents, their ability. And in the back of my mind, then it's like it doesn't make sense for people to just fit into a certain job or a certain place or certain team. While in fact, if we can see people work together because they're feeling each other strength, you'll get a better team, you get a better collaboration, you will have a better way of making things more alive and better for everyone. So that was my belief. So when this person came in and we were chatting and she showed me about the human design, and I'm like, wow, this actually answered a lot of my questions that I tried using, for example, MBTI, personality tests. I even took kind of like an adult IQ test, which it's available if anybody's interested in finding out their IQ as an adult, which is different from when they were little. And it will test you like the way that you uh, receive information, agility, and so many different levels that I'm like, wow, it's very interesting. But this human design gave me awareness of the thing that I wasn't so like there's no language in like personality tests like MBTI, which is only say, oh yeah, you're an introvert, oh yeah, you're an extrovert. But what really makes you be like the extrovert, and then I also realized there's like the one in the middle, right, that you can play as an extrovert but you're actually an introvert and things like that. but it doesn't explain a lot of the sensitivity that I have. And especially, I think if I'm talking here, you also have this kind of knowing of things beyond what people say, things beyond what you see in reality, and things that sometimes you just don't know, but you're picking up information really fast. So the human design gave me access to now seeing it in my own chart where this all come from. So from that awareness, it gave me kind of like a way of being, which in the human design style, a way of being doesn't mean that here I give you a prescription, which is the body graph, you run with it. Make sure that you follow the the prescriptions. It's never like that, because in life we always are under a lot of influences outside of us and inside of us too sometimes, that it becomes like a life embodiment. And from that embodiment, we sort of kind of like play around with what we know. And so that's why I really love doing this introduction, whether or not you're going to continue in learning it. But for me, just having this awareness as well, and because you're also learning astrology, it's a knowledge that when you continue looking at it, you continue looking at your chart, you continue learning it, understanding it, it opens out layers of your own awareness, of your own consciousness, and how you can use that awareness to then choose at any moment, right? Do I want to be in that ladder of consciousness to go up, which is love, joy, and happiness, or I will just choose at this level, which no, no judgment. Or sometimes we also do need to go to the lower level of consciousness where we have to feel some anger and resentment, because I'm a believer as well that even in those lower frequency, there's some medicine there that you can take. Because if we don't understand, or we prevent ourselves from being angry or frustrated or whatever the lower vibration that people call, if we never experience that, we cannot really experience the light or the higher frequency, and vice versa. So this human design give us the ability to differentiate that, for me to also differentiate when I'm in the high vibration, the low vibrations, being able to then make a decision what, which one that I want to choose, as well as knowing that sometimes life is not just about us. What we think and believe it's coming from us could actually be influenced from other people, our environment, and so on and so forth. So there's so many layers in how you can use human design. Today, I'm going to, of course, in an hour, I will not be able to open all of, explain to you all the level of human design. But what I actually, at least, want to impart, or my intention for this next 1 hour, is that you have a deeper insight of your strengths and weaknesses, that you have a way or an understanding that when you have to make a decision in life, especially big life decision, that there's another way that you can do it that will feel more in alignment with you. And I'll show that to you where you can look that up. Better understanding of who you are. And maybe if you get really curious, this is what I also do. I start looking up people's chart. Also helped me to improve in my relationship with other people, because we all want to be accepted when we're in a relationship with others. By being able to understand somebody else's energy type, the way that they character work, just as simple as like, how will they receive a question or a statement? That alone has changed my life, because then I'm not getting frustrated in my own self, and in thinking and believing that whatever that I'm telling this person, how come he never get it? And if I'm asking him this question, how come he can never answer it? So human design can help you with that. And I'm going to explain to you in today's presentation, and as well as clarity and what the essence of your purpose. And I'll show you where you can see that as well. Okay, so let me go into this so that it's bigger. All right. So human design is actually it's a system. Like just like a computer system, right? It has a lot of data, and because the person who got downloaded the system see all the pattern coming from Western astrology, coming from Yi Jing, which is the Chinese metaphysics or oracle or energy movement cycle, Kabbalah, and then Hindu chakra system, and then quantum physics. He then created this system. So I'm glad some of you already have some backgrounds on some of the system, but leave that for a moment because this human design is almost like its own language. Just know that behind the system itself, it brings and synthesizes all the information that came from all this ancient teaching. This is called the body graph, which if you have your material, you have your body graph or your chart, I think probably about 3 pages before it ends, specific based on your birth date, time, and place. On the body graph, as you can see here, you got a silhouette of a human. That's why it's a human design. The silhouette basically just indicating you. And the on the silhouette, you will see this pieces. Some look like a triangle, and this one looks like a box. This one looks like a heart. On my app, they make it looks like a heart, but if you use other application to pull body graph chart, it might not look like a heart. Then there's another triangle, and then the box, and a triangle. So if you see this alignment, you probably already start to remember. If you've studied energy, you probably know this is the energy center. This is the crown center. This is Ajna, or the third eye, throat, heart center, willpower center, which is this is special in the human design, sacral, and root. Now, in the solar plexus, they split into two. This one here is called the emotional solar plexus. This one here is called spleen. And within the heart center, they also split it into two, the G center and the willpower, which I just realized I didn't really put names on it. Remind me, I will get you a chart with all the energy center. So for this slide, I'm just gonna explain like this, the triangle, the box, the heart, these are all centers. And then we have gates, and you start to see numbers on the right side and the left side. And the same thing within the energy centers, you see numbers. So these numbers are actually gates. What these gates are energy, just like if you're looking at your astrology chart and you see orbs, right? You have 21-degree Leo, you have 9 degrees Aquarius, or you have like all those number, the degree number. This one is not the degree number, but it's the Yi Jing, the 64 gates of the cycle of life. And there, let me see if I have, I'm gonna scroll really fast, I apologize. Oh, there it is. So Yi Jing, 64 gates or 64 energy. It represents what I call almost kind of like the hero's journey, our soul's journey from creation, birth, until we're growing up and starting to go away from our parents, starting to make a living on ourselves, having a relationship, problem occurs, and then we're starting to see like whether we're gonna win the challenges, victorious in the challenges, or we're gonna face the challenges and we have the downfall, and then we start again, birth and transformation, and then the cycle continue until we become mature, and then we pass on to a different world. So that's a 64 gates, which is the same storyline as the 64 lines of Yi Jing. And it's actually fall under the whole 360-degree wheel of astrology. So you will see here that we have the each of the sign in astrology, and then within each of the sign is where each of the gates or each of the Yi Jing fall under. And you will see here, like for example, Aries and Taurus, there are gates that actually fall under this two sign because it doesn't really reflect the degree of the horoscope or the astrology wheel, but it's more on the chapters or energetic signature that it consists the 360-degree wheel of the sign. Okay, so with this, then you can also start to see that, hey, I see the symbol for sun sign. I see symbol for Pluto, which is exactly, you're reading it correctly, because again, each of this planet, when you were born, carry energetic signature. So now you have additional information as you're reading your astrology chart, that what you know about your Pluto, for example, like this person, right? Oh, Pluto is in Leo, so that means the generations is the Pluto, the Pluto generation that this person was born in has the flavor of Leo. Leo is exuberant, a show off, wants to be on the stage, and so on and so forth. And when you start to learn human design, you can also look up what gate 31 is under the Pluto and Leo, and which so happened that the sun for this person is also 31 degree, 31 on the gate 31 of human design. And I'm gonna show you what the gate 31 is and who this person is, which probably you can already see on the left hand side who this person is, and you will be surprised how the energy will be reflected under this person. Okay, but before we go there, I'm going to go back into our earlier chart because I'm sorry, I'm jumping around, but that's how we're going to flow today. So again, centers are all these forms, and then we have the gates, which are all this number, and it tie into different energetic center. So remember, not just it relates to the astrology sign, but it also relates to different centers in the body. That also additional information that you can use in your reading to what is very important within your energetic chart, your body graph, or the energetic blueprint that plays an important role to you. So that when you feel like, oh, I'm not feeling myself today, maybe you can also start to look at, okay, start with the sun sign, because sun sign or the conscious sign will always be the important factor in your life. Astrology says so, same thing with human design. And if you notice that your sun sign, for example, like this person is gate 29, falls in, gate 29 is on the throat, or no, gate 29 is in the sacral center. So that gives a flavor. If you don't feel like you're in alignment with who you are, then check your sacral center. And sacral center is all about life, vitality, pleasure, feeling good in the body, embodiment, and anything related to the lower extremity, including digestion. So if something is not settled in that area, that's also a good input or feedback from your blueprint to tell you, hey, take care of your sacral area of the sacral, or any, like, what energy related to the sacral center that you can use. Okay. And then any question before I continue? Pretty good so far? So good?
Oh,
Okay.
oh, can you tell me again? Right here and right here, you have the emotional and the spleen. What was that? What are those two again?
So
Spleen.
this, yeah, this the triangle on the right and left side of the body, next to the sacral. This one here, which is white, for this person is white, is a spleen center, and the emotional center is on this side. Emotional solar plexus. It's funny because emotional is the only one that is being called the solar plexus, but in relationship to where it is on the body, in the real body, in our body, is actually where the solar plexus is. So let me stop the share.
Mhm.
Where did you go? So the spleen, because we know the solar plexus is here, right? Basically, spleen is also here. So the two of them, the centers, if we have to point it out in the body, it's around here. Why they differentiate it in human design is because emotional center of the solar plexus dictate an awareness that we have of our soul, because the soul doesn't speak material wise, right? The soul speaks with intrinsic things like intuitions, emotions, and things like that. The spleen is the awareness center that is more matter basis. So things that will make us fear of like survival, that basic instinct, do I feel good in this environment? Is my body feel good? My well-being, like am I healthy in myself? That is the spleen center. Because the spleen center will have that intuition, not based on the unseen or the emotion, but more on the matter fact of what's going on in the physical plane. So that's why they differentiated, they separate it for the solar plexus, because solar plexus, as we know it in the Hindu energetic system, is the one that we can feel either powerful in our body or also powerful in ourself. And that comes from the emotions and also the environment. So that makes sense.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Any other question before I move on? All good. Yay. All right. So I explained center, gates, and then channel. Channel is basically if there are two gates that are activated, and activated means like if you see in this person body graph, there is this red or black lines. That mean the gates, especially if the gate also are rounded or highlighted on the numbers, that mean the gates are activated. And when two gates are activated and they're opposite to each other on the body graph, it creates a channel. And that's the energy flows is making a connection there. That's all that you need to know right now, just so that I don't confuse you, because that's also telltales of themes in our energy body that create who we are. Because the minute that something is activated, that means you can feel the energy present consistently. While if it's all white like this, right? Or white center like this, that means sometimes you feel it depending on the transits in the cosmos, or if you're just so happen you are in the same room with somebody who has maybe a gate here or this energy center defined, we call it when it's activated divine, then you will probably, oh, now I can feel the traits or the energy of the spleen, because sometimes let me just explain this for a person like this where the spleen center is open. I don't know if you have it on your chart as open, but those who have this open will have a tendency to feel when somebody is not well. Like you can like, I like you're probably feeling good in the body, and then you enter a place and then suddenly you're like, how come my body just starting to not feel very good? Or you feel tension in the body that you don't know where it comes from, that tells you like, it's not safe for you to be here, go. So that spleen center is picking up from the environment that way. It will tell you how to be safe, or how to protect yourself. Basically, that's the gem of having an open energy or spleen center like that. For those who have the spleen center defined, they do have their knowledge of their own body, whether the body is well or not, but not necessarily will tap into other people. They can, of course, study like medical intuitions and things like that to be able to open that sensitivity. But for themselves and for their day to day, They're just very aware of their own environment and their own body to be able to then say, okay, this is good for me, not good for me, and so on and so forth. Sometimes, though, the people who actually have the spleen center defined or activated, they might try to push their body way too far because they think and believe, oh, it's still very good. While in fact, they're pushing it because they're not reading it from the environment. So there's some plus and minus, of course, with each of the energy center, which I'm going to explain in the later slide.
I have a quick question. I
yeah.
have a quick question. How do
Sure.
you read that it's open? What indicates it's open?
Okay, so this chart has the information. Open or undefined is anything that white, it's always open. Whether it's a center or a channel or a
Oh,
gate. So there's
oh,
nothing in it. Like this 48 gate, white, nothing. And the channel here between 48 to 16, white. White, open. Same thing with the crown center here, it's also white. So so that means it's open.
oh, okay.
And then if it's colored, no matter what the color is, so the color itself doesn't matter. That means it's activated or closed, or we call it defined center. Define. So when it's open, we also call it undefined. Good?
That helps. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Oh, did I lose the share screen just now?
No,
No?
we could still see the diagram.
Ah, okay. All right. Okay, that's strange. That is strange. Suddenly, I thought I lost the diagram. Okay. All right. So that's how you determine when it's open or closed, or if you want to use the language of human design, undefined and defined. Center, and then if the gates is activated and not activated, basically. Okay. And let's move on to the next slide. When we first study human design, everybody will talk about types because, as I mentioned earlier, how we understand ourselves and how we make decisions and how we relate to others is very important, right? So in human design, we have 5 types. And this 5 types is what we say in human design as strategy for interacting and making decision in the world. And let me see. We have, as you can see here, I listed up all 5, and this is also on your handbook, on your study material. I'm gonna just go run through it really quickly. Manifestor basically is the one, all right. So manifestor are the one who initiates. They usually have a lot of brilliant ideas or not so brilliant ideas, depending on how you look at it. But these are the type that they will never listen to anybody. And if you have a child who does not listen to you, maybe they're manifestors. Or they're just like very adamant about like, if I want this, it will happen. And manifestor came into the world as part of our evolutions to create this world. And for a while, we have not really seen a lot of manifestor, not until the last maybe 10, 15 years, we're starting to see a lot more manifestor because we all know we're moving into new earth and we need people who basically getting the download, getting the ideas and start channeling it and start manifesting it because their biggest strength is in their throat center because throat is the manifesting center. And when they say the things, because ideas come, knowledge, information come from the ether, right? We can't really see them. But manifestor will, when they really tap into those and they say it, things happen. And they're not the one who actually necessarily be the one who pick up the pen and paper or computer or whatever tools that they need to make that happen. They may not be the one who actually have to do that. In fact, most of the time it will actually go to the other type, which is generator, because the generator types are the one who will then build and create, because the generator type has the energy to create life. So the manifestors, some manifestor that I know, because we are so in the society where you have an idea, go do it. Have an idea, go do it. Well, in fact, this type, it's not about doing it, but they have to communicate it. They have to inform people, hey, I have this great idea. Hey, I need you to hear this idea. And they're not the type that can be judged, because the minute the manifestor are being judged, they shrink, and you will feel in their aura, they will repel you. I have a few manifestor friends. If they are not in the place wanting to talk to you, their aura is so close that if you're just like, oh, wow, I don't even want to be around you, because they're so like, well, they're like, no, stay away from me, because they're so afraid of being judged. And that's part of manifestors' problem or shadow in this life, is being judged. And if you do have a relationship with other manifestors, give them space to say what they need to say. Even if they have crazy idea, listen, because their crazy idea may not be so crazy after all, after so many years later. And part of even them saying it, the frequency alone is the one that's needed in this current life, for things to happen, to manifest. Again, they might not have to do it. Us, the listener, may not be the one who are creating them, but once the frequency are out, it helps channel or bring down the frequency to be manifested into the new earth or the new world that we're going into. And the second, so manifestor right now, I think about less than 10% of total population. So they're rare, but not the rarest. Generator and a manifesting generator types are the one that pretty much about 70% of total population, because we have been going through era of building, right? If you remember the Renaissance era, we heard a lot of the philosopher, the inventors, and all that. And then all of a sudden, we never heard about these people. Everything is about building, manufacturing, and commodities and all that. So we have a lot of these builders, which are the generators and manifesting generators. Their job basically are tuning in into what is being asked from the universe and then do it. So these are the type that will have to just do it. Manifesting generators, as a synthesis of the generators, are the one who actually kind of hybrid. They can initiate, they can get a download, and they can build. However, their timing has to be correct, because they cannot be just a manifestor, but you're like, okay, I say this and I do this. I say this and I do this. It needs to also still listen to the timing that comes from the universe. So still, the type of generator, they need to respond. And this is the hardest thing coming from generator, are that they have to sometimes wait to respond. They cannot just go, which is like a lot of us, because we are never being told to, hey, sit still first, get into your alignment, and then go do what is being asked or called out, of you. We're in the society that when we don't have anything to do, or we feel like, oh, I have a downtime, even in our downtime, we're so busy in doing so many things, right? So that's when we don't get to hear what the universe want us to create and build. That's why we're in the society that feel very frantic and very like all over the place, because there are just a lot of generators who are lost. They don't know how to respond correctly. They don't know how to create life correctly, because they're so out of touch with what the universe want them to do. So that's why then we have the type that's called projectors. Projectors type, they're very focused in really looking at, okay, who's out of alignment. And when they are like sensing, because Generators, as the widest population, have this big aura, big embracing aura, and they just want to go and ablaze with their energy because the energy is supposed to sustain the world. Projectors are like the guide, and the guide job is not then like the generator aura to just like, all right, I want to embrace you and fix you. That's the problem with projector. Projector needs to be invited. They need to sense, okay, I sense this person or this people need my help, but they need to also show up and be asked to be there. Because when the projector just trying to like become like a generator, I want to help you and fix you, the generator will be like, go away. And then the projector feel like rejected. And then they cannot be the guide that they need to be. And we do need these guides because they're the one who will help a lot of generators to be in alignment. Because again, if the frequency of the total populations are in frantic and stress, overwhelmed, not in alignment, then that's what we get, a world that is misaligned. And projectors are here to help. And they are right now, in terms of total populations, about 15 to 17%. So they are increasing in numbers because we all know we all need the help of projector to help us align. Reflectors are the mirror of all the conditions of the world. If you meet a reflector, most of the time, you probably will not notice them to be there. The two type that when they walk in the room, people will never notice: projector and reflectors. Projectors, sometimes you start, oh yeah, there's somebody there. But if the projectors are like not also in the good alignment and kind of like hidden because they're so afraid of being rejected, I have friends, they walk into the room and then she'll be standing behind me for a long time until I realize that she's there. Because she's that projector. And imagine reflector, because the reflector has a lot of their centers open, that they will kind of like be like a chameleon, will just suddenly blend in with everybody in the room. The job of a reflector is to be able to notice everything that is going on and reflecting back to people. And some of the reflectors I know are actually judges, those who are like leader in the leadership roles, because they can really sense what's going on in the room and use that information to then either rectify, create something, or help and guide others. Almost kind of like projectors, but in a different type. Okay, so I'm gonna share real quickly what makes manifestor, generator. I'm sure there's gonna be some question in here, but I'm open for any discussion later on. This, I don't have it in your handout, but I don't, I'll be happy to send it to you if you want. Manifestor, again, as an initiators who are here to make things happen or to bring down the information down to earth. What create a manifestor? Their throat center has to be defined. So there has to be a color on their throat center. And it needs to connect to either the G center or the heart, the motor centers, or the emotional center. These are called the motors because these are the things that will make things moving. Without motors, like if you see like a bicycle without motor, like not bicycle, but like a maybe like a little canoe or ships that you put a motor. If there's a motor, that means you have to do like this, right? But if there's a motor behind it, which is like you press a button and that the whole thing will move. So the same thing with a manifestor, the motor then drive things to manifest. The idea that came through are being channeled through their body, whether it's through their G center, their heart, their emotions, and then it becomes like something that I have to really say this, I have to really make this happen. That's manifestor. Manifestor who are well known is Jennifer Aniston. You can see her graph here. I think she is known to as somebody, as I think her career, she's so sure about what she wants and what she wants to be. And I feel like she's one of those person who just have everything happen to her. And that's exactly what a manifester type beauty is. The minute that she knows who she is and she want it to happen, it just happened because she communicate and she share it to other people. Okay. And then we have generator. What makes a generator? It has to have the sacral center here defined. So this center needs to have color, sacral. Now, hey, this person also have a throat center here and it's connected to the G center, but because it has a sacral center defined, it makes her or him to be a generator, not a manifester. Okay, so this person is actually, who did I pull? Austin Butler. I don't know if you know Austin Butler. He plays Elvis, the latest Elvis movie. He he's I've been following his career as a generator, very typical generator. Right now, he's like going, well, not right now, but he knows he feels that he fits in acting. And when he knows like, oh, okay, this fit for me, I love it, I enjoy it, and he just keep like, okay, I want to continue acting. So this somehow make that kind of like idea happen, right, for him. But what really makes his success is his work ethic, because this kid has not stopped working since he was probably 15 or 16 years old, because he enjoys acting so much. He just keep going from one acting job to another to another. And remember when I said generator needs to wait for response? So amongst his other job, the way that he got to his success was because somebody told him, hey, you need to audition for this movie. Somebody's making a movie about Elvis. And it's like, what do you want me to, audition? I think you fit the profile and you can play guitar. Just do it. So from then he responded. He's like, okay, I'm gonna audition. And after that, the rest just happened. So for him, it's not about strategizing, right? Some of us think like, in order for me to be successful actors or successful in profession, I have to strategize. I have to do this, I have to do that, blah, 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 lots of strategies. While in fact, it's just about, especially for generator type, I feel good being or doing this. I'm just going to continue doing it. And then responding after another and after another, that responding way of doing things is the one that will then suddenly just put you in the right track and put you ablaze into success. That's generator. And then of course, we have the manifesting generator. The manifesting generator, again, like, hey, wait a minute. You also have the throat, which is true. Manifester does have to have a throat. And then second thing that makes a generator is the sacral is also defined. Now, what makes Austin not a manifesting generator and this chart is a manifesting generator? There's a connection between the sacral directly to the throat. Manifesting generator require the connection between sacral to the throat. It can be coming from sacral to throat like this, or sacral, emotional, and the throat. So there are two ways, this way or that way. But like for the example of Austin, there's no connection between the sacral to the throat. That is direct. There is the sacral that comes to the root, oh no, this is not even connected. So there's really no connection whatsoever between the sacral to the throat. That makes him only a generator, while this person, because of that connection direct to the throat, is a manifesting generator. This is the type that, like I said, have the ability to like, oh, okay, I have this great idea and I'm gonna do it. He can or she can. It's just that he or she will also still, because generator type needs to respond to something. The timing has to be because it's in response of something outside of him or her, which is like maybe it's start to see sign, or maybe somebody start to come and say, hey, let's do this. like something that this person can respond to. I'm actually picking up Martin Luther King an example of a chart because he has this line channel called 2034, which is the line of charisma. A lot of manifesting generator that I have seen chart, especially if they have this line, is if they're in alignment with who they are, have this kind of like essence of them that draw people in. So the drawing, it sometimes come from what the ideas of what is being communicated. And for example, with Dr. Martin, is that he does have a connection coming from the Ajna, which is where our thinking thinking pattern comes from. Ideas come from the crown, right? But then the Ajna is the one that synthesizes it. And he's like, oh, I see this pattern. I know this is what we need, what we're missing. He communicated. And because he have this charisma channel, draw people into him in a big way. So that's the beauty of manifesting generator who are very in alignment with who they are, can really make a bigger impact. But that bigger impact has to be out of response of something outside of them. And then projector does not have sacral, may have a throat. So what really make a projector is if they have defined or colored in their throat, has an undefined, projector has a defined sacral, none of the motor centers has an active connection to the throat. Okay. So the motor are the emotional and willpower. If there's no direct connection to the throat, it makes this person a projector. And I don't know if any of you here are projector, but you will see different way, like different energy centers defined in projector. But for sure, the sacral has to be empty. Nothing on the sacral. Okay. And this famous projector is Mick Jagger. When people see that they don't have sacral, some people will be like, oh no, I cannot create life. I'm not, I have no meaning, or whatever they are. But a lot of really famous people, really visionary people are projectors. Case in point, Tina is a projector. That you met in the ship, or you've been friend or been following. Mick Jagger is another visionary. You will think that he's a generator because he has a lot of energy, but it's actually a projector. Jeff Bezos, a projector. Barack Obama, a projector. So these are people who, again, their job is to be a guide leader, right? Because they see or they feel how things are not in alignment, and because they're picking it up in the energy field, they then can create a vision that work for other people, especially for the generators, because they're here to help generators. One thing about projectors, because they don't have sacral, the way that they actually are looking, or people think, oh my God, but Barack Obama or Mick Jagger, they have a lot of energy. Because it's an open center, they can tap into other people's energy. So what happened is, because there's 70% people are generators, for projector to sustain energy in their body, they just have to exist. Because the minute that they feel the presence of other people's energy in their system, it gets exploded in their system. That's why sometimes I will look at the generator and the projector. How come the projector have more energy than the generator? Because the generator is alone with their own energy center, right? While the projector is like picking up from this generator and that generator. And what happened when they draw into their body, it multiplies 10 times, 100 times bigger. So that's why they look like they have a lot of energy. But then once they detach from that energy, this type require a lot of time alone. This type require a lot of time to rejuvenate themselves, to release the excess energy, to remove themselves from any energy type, especially the sacral, because it will make them burn out, super exhausted. That's why a lot of projectors and also reflector, because of a lot of the open centers, do require a lot of time alone or being in nature to feel that they can come back into their own being, because otherwise they are playing out other people's energy. Okay. Reflector, ta-da, no energy center whatsoever. So reflector, again, because it works like a reflector, right? A mirror. It just basically reflects everything else that is going on in their surroundings. They have no energy whatsoever. So these people really, really, really do need time to detach from people. They really need to be in nature a lot. If they are aware about their, because sometimes I also know some reflector who will behave like they are generators, because that's what are being asked as a society for this type to be. And that will make these people sick, tired all the time. A majority, if they're not careful, will have autoimmune disease or cancer, because they're pushing an energy that is not them, believing and thinking it's them, and they don't have a way of coping into their own energy field, like how to rejuvenate or come back into their equanimity inside of themselves. So if you know people who have a lot of open centers, and you know that they're acting in a way that tiring, you might even already sense it, like, why is this person do not know that they're already tired, burnout, etc., etc. Please tell them to really have like energy healing, or work through going into nature so that they can have a break and they can be who they are again. A famous reflector is Sandra Bullock. I know I'm picking up a lot of celebrity. And I know Sandra Bullock, I think, also have some years where she does not have her health. I don't know what happened, but I would suspect it's because she does not know how to remove herself out of other people's energy. And I think even where she lives right now, she's pretty detached from a lot of the busy and bustling of society, so that she can also rejuvenate herself. So with that said, I know I've said a lot. What is your type? Are you manifester, generator, projector? I can also look it up. If you are not sure, because I do explain like okay, you see reflectors is easy, but projector, I'm not sure. The easy part of seeing it in your chart is just you go look in this section on the left, you go under type, and you will see your type there. For this one is self-projected projector. What make him a self-projected projector is because the G center is defined. So this person know exactly what the soul wants. And what the soul wants is just because it also have a throat center defined here. So it can really sustain this energy of like, I know what I want. This is what I'm going to say. And this is what I'm going to do. Even though he doesn't really just do, he's actually just being, he's just, Mick Jagger is known for his ideas, for his soul, for his music, and that's what he's channeling. He doesn't do the do part is like maybe dancing on stage and things like that, right? But the soul part for him is actually communicating that soul message that he received, that he carried in his heart, in his being. Questions before I move on? It's a lot, right? And we're almost in the hour, top of the hour. Any question?
I wouldn't mind you taking a look at my chart.
Okay. All
Yep.
right. Let's see. Man.
I think it's listed as a manifester or something.
Let's see. There you go. There you go. Do you want me to share it on Zoom, or you want me to just read it for you?
Oh, no, you could show it. It's all right.
Okay. All right.
People,
So this is Mary. I have it correct, right?
it's, yes, that's me, Mary Fong.
Yay! She's a manifester. So again, what makes a manifester? One thing, it has a throat defined but no sacral. So that means she's not a manifesting generator, she's not a generator. And because she, like, if you're just reading this, you might, oh, she could be a projector. Yeah, but then the throat is connected to one of the motor. So that's what makes it a manifester. Now, you have willpower connected to the spleen, connected to the throat, and let's see, this one doesn't connect, this one connect to here. Okay, so you're the type who can motivate yourself really well, because I don't have this center. I have days when I'm like, meh, I don't like doing this. And even though I listen to any motivational speech, if I'm not motivated, I'm not motivated. Like, and I'm not the type who can motivate myself. I need somebody to kind of like, I have to talk to, and then that person like, oh yeah, now I'm feeling insightful, and I feel motivated. Then I'm awake. But you have this willpower, and willpower, if you also know Aries, right? It's one that's very persistent, and you're just gonna like plow through. Nobody can say no to me. And it's connected to your spleen. Spleen here meaning it really direct your survival. Like whatever it is that you do is very driven for the good of yourself, and hopefully also the good for other people around you. But you're very self-determined in really making sure that you're covered body, physically, environmentally, like everything. If you're looking at the Maslow's, like from the bottom up, everything needs to all be stacked up in terms of your own survival. This then, because of the connection to the throat, everything that you manifest, that you think about to do in this lifetime is very very, I'm not going to say self-centered in a bad way, but it really come from who you are, because your job is for you to be the best self, to be what the soul wants you to be, not about other people, not about like, yes, we all wants to contribute, because that's part of our human evolution, is to be a contributions to other. But your contribution is to feel very good and secure from within, because once you are there, then everything else will just come to you in terms of contribution. So you're the type that you don't have to think about how you want to best serve others. Best serve yourself first, your soul, what your soul wants. By you being you, you already serve other people, if that makes sense. That resonate with you?
Yeah, that makes sense. And so I'm here to express my soul through my humanness.
Yes, yes. So never ever ever feel like if somebody said, wow, you're so self-centered, or you're like, why do you only care about yourself, or things like that. Don't ever take that personally, because hey, your job is to take care of yourself first at the best of ability. Like if you're thinking like, oh, part of my purpose, I need to make other people happy. No, make yourself feel the best first, the happiest version of yourself. The rest will follow. Because I was talking to my friend the other day. She's like, I can't believe, because she's also a healer, and she's trying to build her business. And and of course, building a business, it's kind of like a spiritual journey on its own. She's like, I am working hard, I'm trying to make money, blah blah blah. And then she's like, and then my little boy, suddenly got 100,000 US dollar in her bank account from his grandma. He's just barely existing, but somebody gave him money, and here I am working my ass off trying to make money. So you see
Uh-huh.
my point? Like you
Yeah.
being you is enough. You don't have to worry about like, do I have to, am I enough? Like, do I have to like work so hard and be somebody else to just to contribute and to make other people happy? No, just you being happy, being so cool, being so, especially spleen, right? Secure in myself.
Mhm.
That's your purpose.
Mhm. I see. Fortunately, I haven't had anyone communicate to me that, oh, you just focus on yourself or you're self-centered. Fortunately, I have not had any of that feedback.
That's
So
wonderful.
I
Yeah.
just feel like, you know, living all these decades that I truly, you know, feel like I'm expressing my soul's purpose. So that's how I see that.
Yes. Yes. Because not many people have the Chi center defined. That means your soul come here with a mission already. And you know, okay, you have a profile of 6'2". There is on your handout explanation of profile 6'2" is like. So anytime we mention about profile, it's almost kind of like a character that you play in this lifetime. So example like Austin Butler playing Elvis, right? So Mary is playing a 6'2" role, which is a role model and hermit. The sixth line always have 3 decades, meaning like your life cycle come, in 3 part, 0 to 30, 30 to 50, 50 till the rest. So some people who have this sixth line can feel like things don't come together until later in life. Call it late bloomer. For this purpose of human design, it's just you're in the stage of, you're right now 60, so you're already past. I wonder if, 0 to 30, you're probably like doing a lot of trial and error. You're like, have fun here, I'll do this and try that. And then suddenly you're like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that. I'm going to let somebody else do it. I'm just going to watch here. I'm going to chill and cool. And then suddenly around 50, you're like, I'm ready. I'm going to, kind of like going back into the game of life again. And you're like doing so many things. But what help you is that, because take a look at my chat. Okay, Josephina, I'll do that. What really makes the beauty is that the more, as long as you're staying true to your heart or your soul, you going through the cycle seamless, no problem. And you will feel, the more that you are allowing your heart to open, allowing your soul to be expressed, to dictate what you want to go in life, the more that you allow it to do that, is the more that people will see you as somebody that they like look up to, because that's a role model. Again, you don't, I know, if you probably want like, do I need to coach, teach, what do I do as a role model, right? Again, you just have to be you. People will just look up to you and say, I really like what she's doing. So that is what life is. So that's what a soul mission looks like, kind of thing.
I have one question, then we can move to the next
Yeah,
person. Thank you so
no
much.
problem.
So let's see, how do I describe it? It's the emotional,
This one, the emotional solar plexus.
yeah, and it's connected to, is that the sacral or, oh, the
This is
root
root.
chakra?
Yes.
What does that mean?
So this is one, this is could be an area that you need to work on, because but you're already past 60, so maybe you already control this. This is a pressure, root center is a pressure cooker. It's a pressure to do. It's where the adrenaline is. You probably enjoy when you were young, or maybe you still enjoy pushing things to the edge, like adventure, pushing it to the edge, that like, oh, I need to feel that adrenaline. Now, um, this could also tell like you cannot sit still. You have to like do. If you're not doing, you feel like you're not meaningful. Like life, it's like it needs to always have something going on. And especially because it's also connected to your emotional solar plexus, you think that your power is when you're doing things. Well, in fact, your power comes from your soul, who you are. But it's okay, it's part of the design. The beauty of this is that your emotional will also determine and play in role of your awareness, meaning like with somebody who has an emotional center defined like this, you feel things, everything. Some because in the culture or in the society where we are labeling emotions, then there's like good emotion and bad emotions. If you take away the labels, they're just emotions. And you have a power to be very fluid in your emotions. And the good thing is there's no connection to the throat. So the emotions do not have to be said, but sometimes this is what dictates the things that you want to do. Now, I will always watch out for anybody who have emotional center is to have them as friends, as guests, but do not let them run your life. If you feel angry, oh hey angry, I know you're here, cool, let's have fun. And then you feel something else, hey sadness, or hey joy, have fun. But don't let them run you over, meaning that don't make them dictate your actions, what you do in life. Okay? Because that's a guarantee burnout, overwhelm. Because you need to be very, very be in your power, say, okay, hey, I know I'm going through these emotions. Let's have fun with the emotions. But you know what? I'm going to cool down, find that neutrality. Then I decide what I want to do. Never, ever, 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 when you're emotional, then like, because your action then becomes your, what's the word for it? Your action becomes the distraction. Because sometimes the way that we want to cope with emotion is by doing so many things, right? I'm feeling angry. Oh, let me go do healing here. Let me go running here. I mean, blah, 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 blah. And then you're feeling like, oh my God, I'm so tired. Especially because you don't have a sacral, you can get tired really easily if you don't manage it. So be very careful with this connection here. And you do have what is called the channel of synthesis, means that you have the ability to synthesize what you're feeling to then make it into an inspired action, instead of it just be like many actions that becomes a distraction, that becomes an overwhelm and a burnout. You synthesize your emotions. In fact, this could also be something that you can use with your body, channel it into something creative, dancing, movement, anything that is grounding, that will help move the emotions. Because emotions, people who have emotions have this tendency to appreciate beauty of life, because beauty of life, it's all emotions, right? All color of rainbow. So I feel like maybe that's why you like traveling, because when you're traveling, you're moving your body, you're stamping your feet, you're grounded, and you're enjoying the beauty, and your emotions can be also felt. Not necessarily have to be expressed, but felt. Because when you feel the emotions, you're like, oh, everything's so good and beautiful, and everything in your world is fine again.
I think this applies to everyone. When you see the red and the black, what does that mean?
Okay. The
Some say
red,
larger and some shorter.
yeah, because um, if you see the right hand side here and the left hand side here, the right hand side is everything that is seen, meaning if you study astrology, all of like your position of the sun sign, moon sign, and we can go down the list of all the symbols, right? This is basically what you will see in the astrology chart as well. This is what we call design. This is what we call the personality. What we, if you're looking at me right now, I am carrying all the traits of personality. What you don't see is my design, which is all colored in red. And this is what in the human design is called the unconscious. And the unconscious, as we know it in our life, is the one that drives our life. It's like the driver. Personality is the one that sits in the back. This is the driver. Now, in human design, this design character or unconscious is created 88 days prior to the day you were born. Why it's 88 days? They believe is if you follow Mercury, how it goes around. Mercury, Hermes, is one god that can go from underworld to upper world and all around. So it will bring your seed or your soul and then put it in the middle world or the upper world for you to manifest. So the design happened when your soul manifests in your mother's womb. And when you manifested in the mother's womb, you already carried all this trait. This is the one that run our life when we're not aware of it. And this can, like, if you put when you're trying to drive somewhere, right? You put a GPS into your phone. And then when you put the press button, what do? You just go in, press the pedal, and start driving. Sometimes you don't even remember you already arrived at the destination. Yeah. Now, that's unconscious. That's this design. Now, the thing is, because we are unaware of this design, sometimes we forget to put the GPS destination. So then this unconscious things would just run around and without the clear destination. And then this is where we see sometimes like we have pattern in our life that we're like, how come I'm trying to, let's, for example, have an example of like losing weight, but like you keep reaching for the same food or ice cream and the same habit and over again. That's unconscious. So a lot of the design here will tell the pattern that is unconscious to us that can then inform us how to then create the GPS, the destination where we need to go. So then we can rely on the red or the design to move us forward. I'm going around and about on explaining in the red on the black. But whenever you see anything red, that means the gate comes from the unconscious side. If it's black, the gate comes in the personality side. For example, 49, it's red here, right? So that means it's in the side and it is under the moon. So unconscious moon.
So
And
49, so 49 is the hexagram in Yi Ching.
Mhm.
And 5, is that how you read it?
49, 5. Yes. Yes.
Oh, I got it now.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Same thing as you're reading hexagram in Yi Jing. You are correct.
I'm
And then,
familiar with the Yi Ching.
okay.
I'm familiar because I kind of worked with it in my 20s and 30s, but that was a long time ago.
Very nice. Very nice. And
Hopefully
then
that
the
makes sense for both of you, the other two. Hopefully that helps.
I hope so.
Yes, we'll love to.
Okay. And then the
Okay.
19 is black. So that
Mhm.
means it's coming from the personality side, right? So we'll go around. 19 is the Venus. 19.5. But
Right?
for, yeah, if you
I have-
don't study Yi
I'm sorry.
Jing,
Uh-huh.
if you don't study Yi Jing, you just need to understand the gate number, which is 19. And you can just Google what gate 19 human design mean, and then understand what Venus is, and then you have both information like that.
Or we get your book that explains it too.
You get my book. It has all the gates in here. And this also, let's see, 19. So it has some images for those of you who love to learn with visuals, because there's also an oracle deck that comes with that is created for this the book. That it tells a story of the energy so that you can learn it better. It will tell you exactly where in the body graph. It has the Yi Jing in here as well, so that you can match it with the understanding of the gate. And yeah, this book can work for you to study the gate, or if you only have the book, you can just like, okay, what's the energy for today? And then you just like, and then usually it will land on a page with a gate on it and will tell the oracle of the energy that you need to know for today. So that's the fun part about the book. Okay.
Right.
Are we good, Mary?
Yeah,
Or
thank
can I?
you.
Okay,
Very
cool.
helpful.
All right. So Josephina, are you okay if I pull your
Yes.
chart?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Do you have
Joseph.
time for mine too?
Okay, Lada.
Thank you.
McDonald, Josephina.
So fun. I love it.
It is good. I love the system so much. All right, so let me open it here. Okay. Today's class is special because yesterday I didn't get a chance to read people's chart because there were like a lot more people. So you guys are lucky. You ladies are lucky. Okay, Josephina. Generator. And you have the 4-6 line as well. Okay. What's your question? What would you like to know?
About the red lines on the right from the spleen, I think,
The red lines
on
on here.
on the triangle.
Okay. Which
Oh,
I
yes.
Oh yeah, there are a lot of them. There are a red line, but there's no connections, all hanging. Okay.
Okay.
It's going to be hard to explain this to cover everything today because that's where I explore that in my program in the class. But for
Okay.
you, what's important is that you're a pure generator. So you're set, meaning that if you like I mentioned for generator, you need to wait to respond, right? But when you're responding to the correct initiative or insights or ideas, you have this sustaining power that's almost kind of like unbreakable commitment that you can just I'm seeing this in a lot of my pure generator friends too. They can build and build and build without losing energy with a great consistency. And I see this as well with you because you also have the spleen defined here and the root. It's almost kind of like you you build things from the ground up. You never believe in like, oh, this is a great idea, like surface level, no interest for you. You really like to like see things being rooted, solid, and you will not take any distraction until that solid ground is created. And that's how you live your life. No superficial, no like surface level. You want the good. You want things that feel like, oh yeah, I like this person because it gives me this solid foundation for me to be in relationship with this person. Same thing with job. All this job, it's not like just making things look beautiful and then doing all the marketing and talking stuff. No, this product is good. They have a good value. I'm aligned and I'm willing to give it all to do it. That's your
Yeah.
strength. Do you resonate with that?
That's how it is. I left a job that I was only for a year. It just didn't resonate with me. And many people say, but you just got that job. And as well, it's not resonating with me. It's not making me happy. Oh, but jobs are difficult. I'll get another one. And I got the perfect job. after that one. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And for you, that just tells perfectly because when your heart doesn't like feel good in a situation,
mhm,
and sometimes with people with an open G center like this, these are not the type that will only do one thing in life. They will be like, oh, season change. Oh, this does not interest me anymore. Yeah, I'm gonna go this way. And then a few months, year later, hmm, season change again. The direction moving this way, and then you're gonna go move. The beauty is, as long as it again, like you said, right? Oh, I'm feeling good with this job. I know this is certain. You're just gonna fall into a place that is just going to be so satisfying and fulfilling for you and make you happy and smiling all the time, and you'll be doing things that even though it looks like hard work and it looks like you're working all the
yeah,
time, but it puts smile on your face, and that just magnificent. Like never ever have anybody tell you otherwise.
makes sense.
um
Thank you.
yeah. And for you, because I feel, did you see any shift once you turn 50?
Yes, a lot.
A lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's one thing that is very significant, if I may ask?
And more initiative to do
More initiative.
things.
Yeah.
Yes. So I lost my husband when I was 46.
Okay.
So I spent a lot of time grieving.
Hmm.
And that changed me a lot. So it's been 8 years now. Um, so it changed my life completely. More independent and um, also looking at things, what add values to my life, or just like no having friendships that are not meaningful. So everything changed, just like a lot of solitude, not alone, but yes, spending a lot of time with myself, getting to know myself. And it just, I'm fine on my own if I have to be, because um, I'd rather to do that than having anything that it doesn't add anything to my life. And that's not in a selfish way, but in spiritual way and emotional as well.
Yeah. And I just got chill when you say that because your gate, your sun, your conscious sun personality, gate 50. So why I actually give the information for everyone who's in this workshop on the information of the sun gate is
Mhm.
because if we are in alignment with this gate, you will feel like this is my identity. Sometimes we look through our life, or we have to go through like what you have to go through, right? Such a heart grieving and broken hearted to finally find that, like, oh, I find me. I know who I
Mhm.
am in the big way. So the sun personality is, if you see on your material, it's a gate of value. For you,
Mhm. Mhm.
things have to have value,
Yes.
and you're now like will not draw things that is not valuable to you. Is exactly you living your purpose, you living your true self right now. And it does so happen that it has to happen close to 50, or yeah, close to 50 or 50 and above, because again, as I mentioned with sixth line, the the cycle of life goes from 30, 0 to 30, 30 to 50, 50 to so on. But this is like the best time for you. It's like the like, if people like saying it, the golden age, or like the peak
Mhm.
of a peak. Like people think like, oh, your peak is in the 30, 20, 30. No, your peak is 50 and above. Like this is you finally living your best self. And knowing that you are living your value means that you are like that. you're true to who you are. And you are in a place where I don't know if you have like communities around you. For you, having a community or network is very important, because if you're looking for anything, whether or not you're looking for help or not help, it's just things, ideas that sometimes come to your mind and you're like, I really want this. I really, really want this. You mention this to some friends that you have, it will come back to you through whoever that is tapped into your network, and you just don't have to do anything. It will just be there.
Okay. I don't have a community, no.
Okay.
I just moved here last year, so still kind of looking for my tribe around here, but I have found it around the world with the just getting together retreats, and I find good support with the people I have met.
Yeah.
So it's good,
Yeah.
and it will get better.
Yeah, it's going to get better. I mean, you're in this
Yes.
golden age. You just have, again, draw it by mentioning it to people that you're starting to know. Hey, or whoever whoever you are communicating to or have friendship with, just continue opening that communication, because you just never know where this will take you. And when I say community and tribe, we're living in the age now that community and tribe are not people who exist with
Yeah.
us. Would be great sometimes, right? But we're like, I was talking to this one mentor of mine. It's like, sometimes your new family is not the family that you live with. Your true family is the one that you connect with from here, and they can be anywhere in the world. Sometimes you don't have to meet them.
Yes.
Would be nice eventually with traveling is opening and stuff like that, you can meet them, but the network can be invisible, but it's there for you whenever you want something. You just like, hey, I'm feeling this, can we hop on the Zoom and have a cup of tea and just talk?
Yes.
You just never know where the conversation will take you. That's the beauty of your profile.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. Is that complete for now?
Yes.
Question? You have any other question?
So I think there's a line
Mm-hmm.
coming that is red and black
Which one?
on the left.
On the left?
Here.
Let me see. Okay. That line
Yeah.
that goes up.
Yes. There.
Oh, red and black.
Yes, together.
Okay. So that just means that the gates activated both on your design and your personality. So 48,
Okay.
48 is on your left. It's under. How come I didn't see 48? Oh, here, South Node, unconscious South Node, and it's actually also unconscious personality. So
Okay.
gate 48 is gate 48. Gate of mastery, I Ching. Well, so what this is telling me, because this is in the South Node, in your previous life, you're some kind of a master of something, like you have a special skill. And I think that's probably why you're coming down here also as a generator. You have this tendency of like, I can do something over and over and over again. It's not a problem, because mastery for you, it's important. But because it's from the past life, you're comfortable with it, right? That means now we also have to look at what's being asked on the North Node. And your North Node is gate 21, which is, did we just talk about 21 earlier? It's the hunt. So now your job in this lifetime, your purpose is to not just continue doing the same thing over and over again, which is you're good at it. start looking for variations. What do you really want? What do you really want to experience in life next? Go hunt for it, go look for it.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're very welcome. Okay, Lada. Let me see, let me pull Lada here. Lada is beautiful name. And you are also, oh, you're a manifesting generator.
Oh, wow.
Yay!
Wow.
So you can initiate and you can build it, you can create it, but again, people think because it's a manifesting generator, oh my God, they can do a lot of things and do so many things. No, you still have to respond. You still have to wait to respond, especially in terms of timing, especially because the tendency with manifester, manifester can be really stubborn in listening for other people to say or looking for the universe to say, go. Manifester can get really frustrated really fast when things are not going their way. They're like, I really want this. I better make this happen. Well, in fact, the universe said, okay, I'm giving you the idea, but wait until you can start doing it before you can start building it. And this is something that manifesting generator has to learn, to wait, to still do things that will make the generator keep buzzing, but not forcing things to happen. In fact, most of the type should not ever try to force things to happen. Maybe manifestor type can like force it, but force in a way that I need to say it. But it's not about pushing things to happen. And for sure, not manifesting generator, because when manifesting generator force thing to happen, it will almost kind of like a bull running and then just like hit the wall and then manifesting generator can feel really depleted, feel rejected very fast. And when manifesting generator get rejected, feeling so depleted, it takes a lot of time to bring the generator back up, because we'll be like, I don't really want to do this. Why am I doing this? This sucks. And it will take times to rejuvenate, to like, okay, I still have to do this. Okay, fine. And I'll come back into that field. So for you, especially because you also have a connection for the emotions, again, emotion give that fluidity of feeling all the emotions. Great. And the key here sometimes is that you do need to express your emotions, and please tell to your loved one, tell them, even if you're telling your emotion doesn't mean you have decided on it, because some other people will think like, oh, you're happy about this, that means we're going to do it, right? Maybe you're just like, oh, I'm feeling excited about this trip to Europe. And then I don't know, your husband or your love, your boyfriend or whoever it is, or your children or whoever, it's like, oh, you are happy about trip to Europe. Let me buy the ticket for you. Let's go. Well, in fact, you're just saying you're happy, but doesn't mean you have decided to say, I want to go to Europe. But other people will take it as if like, oh, she really, really want to do this. So you have to really warn people that you will have to go through all the emotions and make decision when it feels good for you. So you might say things out of just saying the emotions, but for you to decide on things, you may have to sometimes wait for the moon cycle, if you're still having your moon cycle, that you feel all the feeling throughout the moon cycle and then you decide. You are not the type that can answer or decide right away. And I know it can be frustrated for other people, but especially if you're not being asked the correct way, and this is applicable to all generators out there, you cannot answer what, why, how, who. The whole questioning in that way will just short circuit your brain. The best way to make decision for generators and manifesting generators, if you are being asked by a yes and no question. As simple as somebody may ask you, hey, what do you want to eat today? You're probably like, I don't know. I don't know what you feel. And then like most of the time, because you're getting pressure to answer, like, I don't want to eat. You guys just eat. I don't want to eat. You go somewhere. But if you're being asked, hey, are you feeling like eating Thai today? Or are you feeling like eating American today? Or are you feeling like eating sushi today? It gives you the ability to feel it in your body. And then your body will give that kind of vibration and say, ooh, yes, yes, I want that. Just like that, automatic. When the body say yes, it's a clear yes. When the body's like, just wait, don't do anything, don't decide. It's either a maybe or no. So anything is a maybe, it's still a no. So just like wait until somebody asks the other questions, like how about this? How about that? All you need to tune in is your body. When the body's like, give me like excitement, or the body's like, and that's how you go through responding through life, because you cannot be asked why. What do you want to do? What do you want in your life? That question will just make you feel like, oh my God, how come I don't know what I want? It's because that's not the right questions to be asked for generators and manifesting generator. And again, with the emotionals, you have to feel the emotions on top of the body. So when the body's like, yes, it's a yes now, but let's ask again about 10 minutes after. If you still have continuously yes, perfect. But if you suddenly feeling like, oh, my emotions going this way, it's best, especially if it's a major life decision, to give it at least minimum 30 days before you make commitment. That way you have a full cycle of the moon. And then because emotions is moon energy, right? You have the full cycle of the moon. Then when you find yourself in that place of calmness, the inspirations, the idea will hit and your body will just be unstoppable. That's the kind of decision that you need in your life. Not when you're going in your head, strategizing, feeling the emotion. Am I doing this right? Am I feeling it right? All of that. No, you just have to wait until the cycle pass. And then when it hits, you will run with it and there's no stopping. Because when the energy is moving like that, everything will just fall into place without you forcing anything. You probably don't even have to do anything. Like when people say, synchronicity or magic happen, that's exactly when you're in that flow of you manifesting the thing that is meant for you to manifest. That's the beauty of manifesting generator. Would you have any question, Lida? Specific question that you want to ask me?
The red colors that manifesting color.
This one here, 36 to 35.
Yes. Huh?
Okay. This is the channel of transition. I cannot say this. Transitoriness. Transitions. Okay. So because this so 35, 36. So 64 gates, right? So 35, 36 almost kind of like in the middle of the whole picture. This is the two gates, basically a gate of ending and gate of beginning. So in your life, you are very accustomed to things always come in cycle. When things are not in cycle, you feel like, what's going on here? Because for you, a project needs to end before you can feel like things are flowing, because then now you have something new that you can do. When it's nothing working and it's like just one thing you do over and over and over again, you get bored.
Yeah.
You're like, this is not me. So whatever you choose in your life, but not relationship though, that could be a trouble. A project and anything like that, you're probably be best as a consultant, right? That type of job, or you're in an environment when you know there's a beginning and there's an ending. There's a beginning and an ending. A project after a project after a project. Could be a relationship too. No judgment. Hey, I know people who actually work better when they are not in one single monogamous relationship. It's just the way that it's being designed.
Yeah. Thank you. That's a lot
Very
of information. So I would say I don't get it 100%, but yeah, it's a lot of learning, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Thank
This,
you.
you're very welcome. It's again, it's the same thing with astrology, right? It's not like a
Yeah.
one-time thing that you're gonna get everything. I'm giving you the introduction to, at least now you know how you make decision, you know how you want to run your life
Yeah.
with, you know how you can relate with other people. Now you can also like start looking up what other people are type wise, and it's like, oh, okay, I want to take care of my projector friend, because when projector is trying to act like generator, they're gonna go into burnout. So now you can help them, and get, especially because some projectors do get the labels of being lazy. And this is not just projector. Anyone who has like a lot of an open energy center, they do need time to de-stress, to relax. And for a lot of us in the society of like, we have to always do things that will make you look productive. Looking productive with being productive are two different things, right? So a projector can be really productive. This is funny story. I have a projector friend. Whenever we're in like a meeting like this, she'd be like doing this. And I'm like, is she okay? And then she's like doing this. And then, but things happen, results happen. Like you don't know like how it worked, but like she'd be like, well, like everything is in deadline, delivered, no problem. So you have to you cannot really judge people from their energy. Now that you learn different energy type, right? This some people will work best when they're kind of like relaxed, cool, chill, while the other like generators type, or like those like Mary that have the root center defined, it needs to always be in actions. Like they have to always go, 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 go. So this gives you access to them starting to understand other people better.
Oh,
Mhm.
I forgot to mention that my circle like pink when I saw Mary and Jess, so Josefina, they don't have. Yeah.
Fine.
Yes.
Yeah, Mary is not a generator. So
Oh.
Mary is a manifester, so she doesn't have this. Josephina has this because she's
Oh.
also a generator.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I have to say that I have a manifestor friend who's always go, 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 go. But she has like 2 air signs and maybe a fire or something else.
Yeah. And she may also have the root center defined like yours.
But for me, as a manifester, my job requires me to go, go, go. But my type is like, I don't like to go, go, go. But my job requires me to do that. But now that I'm retired, I don't feel like I have to go, 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 which is
Mm.
because I've been going ever since I was young. Yeah, I'm glad I'm off that train. I'm so tired.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not going anywhere.
Mm.
Boy, 'cause when I walk my dog, I said, I am so glad I'm retired. I am
Oh.
so glad I'm not a student. I'm glad I'm, it's just like, oh, I can relax for once.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
Hey, this has been great. You've been so informative and so generous of your explanation and time. So,
Yes.
so this is recording. How can we get, be able to watch it again?
I will send you the link so that you can download it and you can keep it, or if you want to just watch it in there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you'll
I'd
have
like
them.
after we're through, I'd like to talk one-on-one with with you, Karen.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll send you where you can schedule a session with me, or if you want to continue studying with me, I have a program happening July 24th for 6 weeks where we can go deeper into learning each of the little gates. I like to play with the gates because once you understand the gates, it's easy to understand your essence and see your life as like how it's working. And on top of that, we're discussing more of all the little things that I didn't get a chance to explain more in today's presentation. Yeah, but everything, I'll put everything on the email so you have it.
Okay, that's great.
Thank
you.
you so much.
So we're being up at 2 in the morning till 4 now.
We can go back to They said that
Okay.
at 4 o'clock in the morning is when even all the angels are taking a break. So this is a great time to connect directly to the divine. So if you want to finish this with a meditation, you might get a lot of download at 4 a.m. 4 to 4:15. It's the best time to do that.
It was meant to happen. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, ladies, for being here and for, oh my God, going 2 hours now. I will send you the informations once the recording is downloaded on my end. Okay.
It has been really interesting. It's just amazing. All this information and everything makes sense. Thank you so much for taking the time. And I want to hear more about it. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Bye, everyone. Have a nice weekend.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Recording, I want to talk one with Karen.
Yeah.
Okay, so how we gonna do this? Get back on it.
I'm sorry, what's it again?
How we gonna get back on? Because you go stop the recording.